What's going on, young curiosity seekers? If you enjoy curiosities, you must also love history. And if you love history, historical photos should fascinate you. For this and more, here are 25 must-see historical photos. One that looks like just a simple group of friends having fun while one of them crashes into a wall. This 1912 photo depicts the initial testing of helmets for American football, which is really interesting considering the importance they gave to safety and health in the sport even back then. A woman is photographed by police after being arrested for serving illegal alcohol from her smuggler's vest. This occurred during the 13-year Prohibition era in the United States. From 1920 to 1933, people who wanted to consume alcoholic beverages had to resort to such ingenious techniques as these. 3. The Kiss of Life. That's the name given to this great photograph taken in 1967 by Rocco Moravito, where you can see an electrician named J. D. Thompson giving mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to his coworker Randall J. Champion after he touched a high-voltage wire and passed out. Don't worry, both of them survived. Number 4, John Kennedy Jr. saying goodbye to the White House kitchen staff in 1963. The boy's birthday coincided with his late father's funeral. So on that December 6th, they had the birthday party during the day and then had to leave the White House. 5. This iconic photo, parodied by shows like The Simpsons, depicts 8-year-old Samuel Rajewski, making it a historic image, defeating several chess masters at the same time. In France in 1920, the boy had been playing since he was 4 years old and became a true legend in this sport.
Did you see that? That boy is playing 3 games at the same time?
Checkmate, 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 dang.
6. President John F. Kennedy watches the launch of a Polaris missile fired by the nuclear submarine Andrew Jackson off the coast of Florida, November 16, 1963. This missile was one of the weapons that the United States was developing during the height of the Cold War. This photograph became part of history, as a protester at the Harlem Peace March in 1967 carried a sign to criticize racial discrimination and the unnecessary war in Vietnam. The sign read, "No Vietnamese ever called me nigger," a word used to insult people of color. This photograph is real and shows a Russian soldier feeding a pair of polar bears with a can of condensed milk during an expedition to the Chukchi Peninsula in 1951. The image perfectly shows the weather at the location, since that day the temperature was about minus 40 degrees Celsius. This 1868 photograph was hand-colored by photographer Felix Beato and his team. The image depicts a remarkable group of samurai from the Satsuma clan who fought on the imperial side during the Boshin War, a civil war in Japan. Known as the American Human Eagle, this formation was made up of 12,500 officers, nurses, and other military field workers. Gordon in Atlanta, United States. The photo was taken at the end of World War I, aiming to represent post-war freedom with the eagle once, something that today would be completely illegal. In 1946, organizing a baby race seemed normal, and he continued doing it for a few years. Yes, just as you heard, babies were placed on a track and encouraged to move by showing them toys on a beam 12. What we're looking at is an iceberg, but not just any iceberg. This is the iceberg that struck the Titanic. This large chunk of ice, believed to be different from the others, had traces of red and black paint instead of being entirely white. Moreover, the photo was captured 2 days following the tragic accident, only a short distance from the sinking site, after being released from an Allied concentration camp. German prisoner of war Hayes Felchiner reunited with his wife in June 1945. And he wasn't just any prisoner of war. He became known for telling about the major differences between the Allied concentration camps and those of the Axis 14. Many people mistakenly believe that World War II occurred only in Europe. This photo shows a United States sailor being chased by a wild piglet on one of the islands in the South Pacific. In 1943, during the World War II 15, in an unusual display of strength. The future bodybuilder Patricia O'Keefe, who weighed only about 30 kilos on March 29, 1940, managed to carry Wayne Long, another bodybuilder who weighed about 90 kilos on her back. 16. The use of toxic substances has existed since the beginnings of humanity. And this photo shows what a classic opium party looked like in 1918 in some city in France, where the guests don't seem to be very awake. At age 17, this was the camouflage design used on United States ships in World War I. Obviously, they weren't attempting to hide in open waters with such a bold design, but rather using a clever system known as disruptive camouflage. It confused the distance, direction, and speed at which the ship was moving. 18. Although nowadays the great city of New York is full of skyscrapers and huge buildings. This is how the Big Apple looked from the terrace of the Empire State Building on the day of its inauguration. In 1931, 19, in 1914. At the very beginning of World War I, the first mass-produced cars began to appear in the United States. This shows a driver who stopped for a break on a cliff at the Grand Canyon in Arizona, United States. Muhammad Ali was one of history's most famous boxers, and this photo was the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine in 1964. And even though the photograph was surely staged, at just 22, he was already a millionaire, and his name was emerging in the boxing world. 21, the lady in the photo was as old as she looks. Hannah Steele, born in 1746 and photographed in 1840. At the age of 94, she became the person with the earliest birth ever photographed. It's really crazy to think that she was 10 years older than Mozart and 23 years older than Napoleon Bonaparte. 22, huh? Yes, are you seeing this right? The person in the photos is Hitler. And this is a design from the United States and Canada of how Hitler could have disguised himself in case he had fled Germany during World War II. 23. This photo shows lifeboat number 6 from the Titanic approaching the rescue ship Carpathia 2 days after the sinking. The boat carried only 24 people, including 2 of the most important survivors from the accident. Captain Robert Hitchin, the navigator, and Frederick Fleet, the sailor who first spotted the iceberg. 24. This photograph, taken in 1989, managed to capture a furtive kiss between 2 lovers through the Berlin Wall just days before it was torn down. This is how the Kennedy Space Center launch site appeared in July 1969. The rocket shown is the one that would later reach the moon with the Apollo 11 mission, allowing us to leave our mark on the natural satellite. Before I go, let me greet the subscribers. First of all, a big, really big greeting to Seba CLD, another greeting to Johan Francisco Matos. Then I send a big greeting to Tiziano Vaquero, another greeting to Lain, who is new to the channel, and also another big greeting to Rias Gremery. Finally, I will greet Manuel DG. Another greeting to Marley Free and Asbel Alexandra. And the last greeting goes to the awesome Mauricio Gomez, who's new to the channel. Now go ahead and leave your like, comment, anything, really anything you want. Don't forget to share the channel and video with your friends. That way we keep growing together. On Senor Curiosities, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the new video. I'm Senor Curiosity.